time for another edition of the Daily Racing Form Weekend Preview here on SportsGrid. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Alexa, Zepp, producers Mike and Rich in the back, helping us out with everything. We've got another big weekend coming up, Alexa. Right now, this time of the year, it's really all about the Kentucky Derby and the points that all these horses are trying to accumulate along the road. So we'll take a look at two different Kentucky Derby preps. We'll take a look at a pick five sequence at Oaklawn. But before we do, just wanted to make one quick mention, Alexa, about the richest race in the world that's going to be run on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's the Saudi Cup over in Saudi Arabia. So $20 million on the line, horses from all over the world going to try to grab that bag of cash. We have a horse who almost won the Kentucky Derby last year, Forever Young, who'll be competing. So very exciting race. I think it's at 12:30 on Saturday, our time Eastern. So definitely
you can get the data that you need, the past performances, and all the help that you need for your research at DRF.com over at our website there for those Saudi Arabia past performances. But a lot of business for us to discuss in just our quick couple of segments here, Alexa. We want to first take a look at the Kentucky Derby point standings that we have, which shows us, I think, 3 horses in the top 20 that we're going to look at in this race. So this is a really important race that we're going to be talking about and previewing coming up in the Rebel.
Yeah, a lot of these horses in here don't even need to win to secure their spot in the Derby. They just need to get, second or third place. So,
and then I think in our final segment, we'll talk about the Battaglia Memorial at Turfway, and we have a horse that's right on the outside of the top 20 looking in that does need to get some points in the next couple of races. So we will meet the field right now. Let's start on the inside for the Rebel, and they throw up some big money at Oaklawn Park, Alexa. $1.25 million up for grabs in this Grade 2 Rebel. They'll go 1 mile and a 16th. Now, because of some really bad weather over in the area, they've actually moved this card. It was supposed to be run on Saturday, but they pushed it to Sunday. They just want to have the best possible weather for their big day of racing. And Cole Battle gets things started. This is a very sharp horse, and I think he's a little underrated, Alexa. I could see him actually being a horse who kind of floats up a little bit and doesn't get bet all that much, but he's sharp. He's won 3 in a row. He's versatile, and he's the kind of horse that you like to root for because he goes out for a smaller barn and smaller connections.
I completely agree. So Cole Battle already has 20 points on the leaderboard for the Derby, and I think he's a very attractive long shot on that winning streak. They've added distance every time to his races so far, and he keeps improving each time. And like you said, he's versatile. He's won from closing from the back. He's won on the lead. So I think he's really developing into himself as a 3-year-old and makes a lot of sense at 10-1.
The number 2, Admiral Dennis, goes out for the very good trainer, Brad Cox. Admiral Dennis comes off a win at Fairgrounds, and in reading some of our Daily Racing Forum articles that you could find on the website, I think Mary Rampolini takes care of previews and stuff for Oaklawn Park, seemed like Brad Cox is a kind of sneaky high on this horse, Alexa. Like he's kind of waiting for a really big performance. So at a fair price, what do you think about Admiral Dennis?
Admiral Dennis has never not gone off the favorite. This will be the first time that happens.
Right.
He's won half of his starts. The 2 he lost, I do think he had some excuses. Not the greatest starts in those races, but I think he'll need to improve in here. And this is the hardest competition. So I'm kind of lukewarm on Admiral Dennis.
Here's the number 3. Enter Sandman, who I think is the horse to beat in here, in my opinion. He's coming off of a really good runner-up effort. He's actually installed as the 4-1 lukewarm favorite in this field. It just kind of shows you how wide open and how challenging this field is. But I guess my only knock on him would be, Alexa, that he's not all that fast early, right? So he does seem like he is the horse that kind of needs a little bit of pace up front to run at, but he didn't have the smoothest of trips. He came rolling last time out. I think they're going to all have to hold him off.
I love Sandman. Sandman has 14 points. So I actually got to watch his performance in the Southwest live on air for our Pegasus broadcast with one of his owners and influencer, Griffin Johnson. And when I tell you there's a added bit of pressure and stress when you're watching somebody's horse race live on TV.
Yes.
Because first of all, you're like, please have a safe trip. And second of all, you're like, please don't suck.
Yeah.
Because you want
it to be everything goes smooth.
Fun. And it looked like it was going to be bad because Sandman fell almost to his knees out of the gate in the Southwest. And then he almost won. He had so much grit. He came back. It did not get discouraged. And it was so exciting. So we got second in that race. And I just think he's a gritty horse who can adapt. And that's something you want when you're looking at the Derby where you're going to be in a field of 20 horses. He's my pick this weekend.
A lot of the major players in this race down towards the inside. I mean, even the 4 Hypnos has only raced once, has a really nice pedigree. The Dam was a grade 1 winner, won the first 5 starts, and the race that he has won has already come back live. My knock would be he won that race on a sloppy track. So was it the sloppy track that might have aided him? But I think he still has a lot of talent.
Very talented trainer, Kenny McPeak, who won the Derby in Oaks last year. So this is the toughest, obviously, he'll have tried, but there's nothing to indicate he won't be up to the task. He's viable in here for sure.
Mattercat Road comes in for Bob Baffert. He finished 3rd in the Bob Lewis last time out, and he was behind a couple other Bob Baffert runners. One of them is Citizen Bull, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which is that championship race for horses of this age group. So Mattercat Road is a horse that we know can kind of sit behind and pass horses. Alexa, he can be a closer, which is positive. Do you like him in this spot?
I've decided to fade him. I think he's a very talented horse, but from an odds standpoint, I think he'll probably be second favorite. And he's, been in California running in much smaller fields of 5 or 7 horses. So from a value standpoint, I've chosen to fade him.
Yeah, same for me. It's just like others more. Not even that I have really many knocks on him. It's just going to be, he'll be a shortish price, and I just feel like we could get some value elsewhere. Publisher comes off of kind of a lackluster performance, but did have some legitimate trouble. Was 53-1 that day, though. Can you make a case for him in here?
I'm passing on him. He's still a maiden, meaning he's never won in 5 starts, and I think this is a very difficult spot to try to grab that first win.
Dreamin' Blue broke his maiden last time out. That's the number 7. The only problem is, Alexa, that was going 6 furlongs, and now he'll have to stretch out to a mile and a 16th. Any thoughts on this one?
This, exactly what we said, is a distance question. He's had impressive, he's running well, but at such shorter distances, his trainer wins 17% of the time when he stretches him out to longer distance, which is kind of like an average success rate. So it's kind of a maybe.
D. Wayne Lucas had a close second in the Sunland Derby over the weekend. He'll come back here with Innovator, the number 8, who's flashed very good speed in almost all of his races. Feels like he'll at least be part of the early pace in here, Alexa.
He will. He'll want that early lead. The only time he's been successful, though, in grabbing that and keeping it was a much shorter race in the mud. So I don't think that bodes super well for him this weekend.
Exactly. His win, 6 furlongs in the mud. This is a mile and a 16th, probably on a fast dirt track. We go to the 9, Smoke 'em Wicked, who is a really, really sharp Louisiana bred. This horse has won 3 in a row, and we don't really know how good he is because he just kind of been toying with his rivals. He'll have to stretch out in here. What do you think about the 9, Smoke 'em Wicked?
Yeah, like Gino said, he's been running against state-bred races, which means, other horses bred in Louisiana. So this is an open race. You're naturally going to have a tougher level of competition. But he's a quick horse, so I think he can compete here.
Bullard, the number 10, he actually won his first 2 starts in Southern California. One of them was a grade 3 race. He came back into San Vicente, and he faced Barnes, who is a Bob Baffert trainee, and he's at the very top of this age group. He's one of the best ones we've seen so far. Bullard does have the ability to kind of sit back and close. Alexa, do you like him at all in here?
I don't like him from an odds standpoint. I was surprised to see 5-1 morning line. I'm not playing him at that.
Speed King won the Southwest, which is one of the local prep races at Oaklawn Park last time out, and he is very aptly named because he's fast. He's drawn towards the outside. What do you think about his chances?
He's a pure speedster, and he has the best chance of anyone in here to get to the front and wire the field. So I think he's also going to be a tough player.
Brereton's Baytown was just facing $40,000 claimers last time out. This is a big step up. Can you make a case from him?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just seems up against it. Tistastic was 3rd in the Southwest last time out, Alexa. That's the 13. His form isn't that far below some of the better in here. What about this one?
I don't think he wins, but I could see him getting 3rd again. He's good at hitting the board. He's a closer, but I think Sandman's a stronger closer.
Hot Gunner rounds out the field, and another one just feels like they're a bit overmatched in here and just up against it. So we move to selections. Alexa, take us through selections as we get ready for our first break.
Yep, I've got Sandman on top of Speed King and Coal Battle for a little bit of a price.
Lots of similarities there. I think Coal Battle, the one, might be the horse that gets forgotten about a little bit. If he's 10, 12-1 or so, I think that's a very fair price. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll get into the late pick 5 at Oaklawn Park on Sunday, Rebel Day.